Okay, we need to go and talk to Eryn because last stream, obviously I wasn't here yesterday because it was Mother's Day. Edgar talked about warrant, what's the word, willingly extending his bail. And we need to talk to Eryn, who's pushing the case, to try and figure out what to do about that. Because it ends tomorrow. What do you mean you don't have daylight savings? Dumbo? What do you mean? Alright, Eryn, let's go somewhere private.
And will you join?
Hey, oh, I'm sorry.
I think it might be for you.
For this, I'm gonna say no, unfortunately. It needs to be just you.
You guys are good.
Sorry, Whirly.
Nah, you're good, Doc. You're good.
Long night?
Yeah. Just doing report audits.
Oh, that does sound fun.
The chief wants every shift doing.
I mean, that's good, I guess.
Not when I'm doing one person right now and I haven't had a single report yet about any red marks.
Hey, okay.
And I'm doing seniors, which is even better.
Oh, seniors and they're not doing reports. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. The reason I want to speak to you is because you're the prosecuting officer for Edgar, right?
Yeah.
So I spoke with Edgar. I wasn't here yesterday. It was Mother's Day and I wasn't at work, so sorry for not coming to you earlier about this. But Edgar, I was questioning him, not on record or anything, about, I know he got that phone call that V was going to subpoena him for, but I noticed it was the Faceless number. And then, I don't know whether you saw the report from Gravy as well about the 3 guys in masks across the street.
Hmm. There was also another one today. I don't know if you saw that one yet.
There was? What was it? Uh-oh.
It was literally before tsunami. Look at report 21386.
Oh shit, it's the same call.
Got a picture of the guy who was on top of the supermarket too. And then someone called Omar Khalil put on Twitter that he's always watching.
That's what the book says too. Where did that notebook come from?
It was apparently there's a note dropped on where the person who was watching the house was standing.
Shit. All right. Well, that's a different. I haven't seen that guy before. Personally, he didn't look. He's not wearing the same mess as the other people. Regardless,
Edgar said that the guy in the white suit who he alleged had broken in was called Edgar Lopez.
There was a guy in a white suit as well.
Mm-hmm. And apparently he's been speaking about Frederick White, who's been missing. Gravy said that the guy who was on the supermarket apparently walked a few feet behind them, and then a second later a black crow flew over the supermarket and passed over the house.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the note where he was standing apparently said, "We're watching." A note that says "We're watching" was on the ground. or something.
Okay. All right. Well, this kind of gets me on to my point, really. I spoke to Edgar and I questioned him about the people that were across the street, that kind of thing. And then he tied it in with, when I asked about, how he got kidnapped and dropped off at a golf course, right? And he did, and I believe him. He came through and said that what happened is that half an hour to an hour after those people turned up, and I suspect them to be members of the Faceless, that he got kidnapped. But specifically, it sounded like he was ordered to do something, possibly ordered to leave the house and meet up with them, and he refused, and that's why he was kidnapped. That's what he's saying. I was basically asking him, again, it was off the books, it was off the records, me and him talking. I was asking him to, he's going for his bail conditions. He doesn't want to break them. So I thought maybe he might also consider giving us info about the Faces, given that he worked with them prior. And that's kind of when he came through about, he, refused an order to, I guess, go meet with them. And then he got kidnapped instead. And he actually requested, given this stuff with the Faceless and them turning up and possibly, and kidnapping him. And then we've got the Chicken Man stuff as well. This guy's, potentially breaking into the house and stalking him and all this shit. He's very concerned for his safety, given his bail conditions and not being able to have a weapon. And he actually requested that we extend his house arrest until his court case. But he doesn't want that to be like a public notice. He doesn't want to go on the docket and be like, I want to stay in my house because, I'm scared of going out and getting kidnapped by these guys or getting forced to work for them again. He wants instead, I guess for it to be done in a very discreet manner.
Yeah, apparently Barrick spoke to Gravy Stay about extending his house arrest too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Barrick
He's gonna
spoke
speak
to
me a
Gravy?
bit. Yeah, Barrick Johnson.
Okay.
So he said he's gonna inform me about it, I think, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a bit late, isn't it? It's when it ends.
Well, I mean, like today,
Oh,
I haven't slept yet.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's not tomorrow till you sleep, but okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of my side of things. So, I'll be honest. I did.
Surely it'd make more sense for him to be safer if, they thought he was not on house arrest anymore, and he, there's nothing stopping him from being at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think specifically he wants the police protection because we're there.
Oh, okay.
Because we're there, and people are less likely to do things when there's police there, and at least we can help out and stuff, and we know where he is. I think he's worried that once we, he leaves our sight and we're no longer like on top of him all the time, what's going to happen?
I get it. As for the weapon thing, I don't even know.
Listen, I don't think it's a good idea to give the guy a weapon. I'll be honest, but
No.
I think if he's requesting an extension on his house arrest, I think if there's a possibility that we can do it discreetly, and if he's requesting it himself, I don't see why not. It makes our job. Well, I mean, I know. I heard people have been saying it's been kind of crazy up there and putting officers off shit. So it's up to you really, because you're patrolling things like that. So I would think it was easier to keep an eye on the guy if he's stuck in the house. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I think I'll speak to Gray because obviously he's a parole officer, so I'll make sure everything's all good with him first too.
Yeah.
And then I can always let you know. You can always email if you're not around, let you with an update.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to get my nose stuck in or anything. I'm just relaying kind of what Edgar kind of asks of me, really.
I meant the court case is trying to be scheduled for the second week of April.
That's not too bad.
It's gonna
That's
be a
not too
2-day
bad.
court case because of how much evidence and how
Yeah,
late this is
there's a
gonna be.
lot. There's a lot. I know I haven't looked through your case yet. But there was one thing that I remember when I was looking through everything with Edgar. There was a video that I think Carmine had posted in a report about the lighthouse. Did you ever get that?
Yeah, I've got that there.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
Was
That was
it AK's murder?
Yes. Yeah.
I need to speak to one of your marshals, to be honest. I reached out to her, but I don't think she's been around yet.
Who is it?
Her name's like Astrid.
Oh, Astrid. Yeah, she hasn't been around a lot lately. So, you said you haven't got a reply yet?
She said that she was going to be around as soon as she could, kind of thing, but I've not seen her yet. And then she posted on the docket saying that she was unavailable, like, this week, so.
All right, just if you don't hear from her, like, you know, in a reasonable time frame, just let me know and I'll get her to reply. I'll ping until the day turns
Yeah,
dark.
I
All
wanted
right.
to touch base with her about the whole Leah stuff because I know she was looking into it beforehand.
Yeah.
And obviously Leah's part of this case now, so.
Oh yeah, 100%. Trying to think. All I've got for that is secondhand information. With the whole, you know, Edgar helping fake Aaliyah's death, but then for some reason killing her, and then that's the reason why he went on this whole spree of killing people, was to try and work with Norman Bones to bring her back. That's the secondhand info I have. But obviously it's not evidentiary, so.
And then we found her body recently in the house. So.
Oh, you actually did find it?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Did the guy know?
I don't know. I need to still interrogate him, but everything's been kicking off, so.
Yeah.
He's willing to speak to me, though, but the only thing is, which is a bit sus, and he's told me about it, is he sold the house to someone since a raid. But there was a shit ton of guns also found in the house, too.
Who'd you sell it to? You know?
I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. He just said someone who owns Vespucci House already and is trying to make Vespucci a bit better.
Okay. I mean, I don't really know who owns houses down there, to be honest.
Okay. Let me check someone.
I mean, maybe the only reason he was holding on to it was because of the body in there.
There was a guy called Helios or something, and I can't remember how to spell
Oh,
his
yeah.
name.
Helios, L''O', that guy. Why does that name ring a bell? I feel like that guy used to be a member of the Gorilla Gang, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, he is. How do you spell his name?
I'm struggling there. Oh, I found it. If you just type in L''OR, then you'll find him. Yeah, he's got Vespucci, a couple of Vespucci houses.
Yeah, so he's bought the house. There we go. We've already found it.
That was easy.
Easy. I don't think about it till now after I've just like spoke the words out loud, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, there's always been a lot of ties between gorillas and trip ass and stuff, right?
Yeah, the you know the public auction they had for property down there recently?
Yeah.
He either won it or was going for it, so that's why his name come to mind.
Okay.
But I don't know if you heard, but when I locked down the property, I accidentally locked someone in the house, and so I let him out, and it was Seamus McCarthy, who is ex-DOC, and he claims that he was renting the property.
Is there a contract that?
I don't know, but his DOC firearm was also found in the stash with all the deagles and Glocks.
Interesting, all right. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Okay. I'll have a look through. I've got I'll see if I've got Helios, any connections to Helios in my phone records and now. I'll have a look, but I doubt it. I remember he came up in the AK subpoena after AK died. But obviously we need a connection to Aaliyah, really, to do anything. But
Yeah.
okay, I'll let you get some rest, Eryn. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hello. So, how are you anyway? It's been a while.
I've been better, man. You know, shit's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, isn't it just? Never a quiet day, is there?
no.
Um, still no better with that, I take it.
No.
God damn it. Hopefully soon we find a cure or something for it.
Maybe. And we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, so
Oops.
I haven't got all the details yet about this meeting, but I've had concerns brought to me already. In fact, I had a judge come speak to me along with one
Oh.
of your marshals about various concerns from what was said there, ranging from issues with Aspin obtaining cures, Princess receiving a cure and trying to lie her way around how she got it. Nino and Jason and their links to Humane Labs and seemingly lying about a director of the place position.
Mm-hmm.
It seems there was quite a bit said there with a lot of worrying signs that something more was going on in the high positions of the government. And I didn't feel right going looking into it without speaking with you, given that's your job.
Yeah, it was an interesting meeting with a lot said and a lot not said, I think, as well.
Yeah, that sounds pretty much like a lot of meetings with some of these people. I think the big thing I'm focused on is this Humane Labs director position, because I know there's a lot more lies going on there than truth, it seems. I've already spoke with Perry, the summer director, and she received a completely different story from Jason in the past, where she
Which was what?
apparently she was told that or Jason told her she used to work for Humane Labs, not that she currently does. There was never any talk about a director position there. So we've already got inconsistencies. Throw in the fact that apparently Nino is the one that hired the security detail using a known felon who
Really?
was armed with an illegal weapon.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's definitely worrying signs there.
Yeah, when I heard the director thing, I could smell bullshit from a mile off, because this whole time, I mean, since like October, when there was that big, there was the military vehicles and there was that massive shootout that we cleaned up that we now believe is tied to the Faceless stuff. That was back in October. And then the amount of shit that's been happening at Humane Labs in the past, how many months is that? Like 5 months, and we haven't heard this woman's name once. She hasn't contacted anybody.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
insane.
You would have thought someone would have mentioned her before now, and given they're the main line of contact for trying to find a cure, it's a bit suspicious she hasn't made an appearance. No mention by either Nino or herself that it's her job to make sure this is going on.
Yeah. I might FOIA the LS County records just to make sure she's not getting any payments for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thing is, it's not even anything to do with Ellis County, really, anyway, given it's state property, adding the fact if it was going to land in anyone's county, it would have been Blaine County. The fact it's Nino saying she's employed, and yet neither the state departments like yourself or the DOJ nor the Blaine County know anything about her makes it even more fishy.
Well, there is a bit of an issue. By the Constitution, the Humane Labs isn't state property.
Okay, interesting.
The Noose building is, and the power plant, but the only stuff in Blaine County that's state property is the prison here, the observatory, because it's in between, and then Fort St. Kudo. So unless it's like listed in like a charge or something.
May just be listed under government building.
Yeah, not even felony trespassing lists it. So it is privately owned, and it's under Blaine County.
Interesting. I always thought it came under
So did
state
I.
property.
I did too, because I remember we were looking to like put up cameras and shit there. And we were like, if it's state property, it's no issue. But then, you know, check the Constitution and the picture that's there, the map, and it's not listed.
Okay. I'm trying to think where. We've probably been using the wrong charges a fair bit then for when people been trespassing there.
Oh. Yeah, bro, maybe.
I'll have to look into that actually. I'm pretty sure I've seen it mentioned somewhere. I cannot remember what it would have been under.
I've even got an old state announcement from Crane like a year ago, and it doesn't list Humane Labs.
Okay. That's interesting to know.
Regardless, we can figure that stuff out another
that
time,
doesn't
but
yeah, that's a different issue. So that's technically private. So yeah, that changes things a bit then, but still, I'm not sure why Nino would be involved and not Blaine County.
you want my honest opinion?
Yep, go for it.
I think it's probably a combination of Nino not wanting to work with Sama, or not trusting Sama to some extent, or Nino wants to get the cure for himself and use it as like a you know, a political thing.
Yeah, use it as leverage.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
No. But yeah, that was it's pretty suspicious. So yeah, that Jess and Todd's definitely on my radar. I mean, I had a roster because we had
See you then.
we had a doctor from Humane Labs that was murdered by the Faceless. And then I went up there to speak to him. And there was another situation where there was like potentially someone attempting to be kidnapped from there. So one of the doctors gave me a roster of all the doctors that were working there. It was like eight, nine people. And so when I was at that meeting, I was like, "Can you name anybody, the people that were on the roster for January?" And she could.
Yeah, that's another telling point. Is there a what's the name? Dr. Fritz? Was he working there back then?
Dr. Felix, you mean that?
Oh, Felix, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
Felix wasn't. Which why I'm also kind of suspicious of them. They weren't on the list.
Nothing. About to go buy some clucking dough and a gallon
Okay,
of syrup. What's up?
'cause,
Checkup. I don't need a checkup.
I saw that text with Perry, but still, the facts. Do you think that's related to the clowns, the attack that destroyed that, given that they had, during that sort of period, attacked humane labs?
I mean, it's possible. It is possible, but I don't know. It's difficult, really, because we don't really have anybody to point a finger at and say they're the most likely people. Because if we did, then we could start investigating them. But it's all kind of like we don't even know when it happened. You know, we don't have any evidence of it happening either, right? I couldn't find any reports or anything
Yeah.
on it. So, I don't know.
Has anyone suggested Perry reach out to them to see if they got any research notes or anything to back up the claim?
I don't know. I haven't seen Perry since that meeting. She had to run off because Dr. Smith was circling Sandy Medical.
Yeah, Dr. Smith, who's in a very bad mood at the moment.
Yeah, how did you hear about it?
I was woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come to the city by Eryn Carter when Jackie Legs got infected. And then shortly after he was infected, it turned out Abby Donovan was also infected because she went up there and spoke with Dr. Smith. And when I was talking with her, she mentioned how he sounded different in the past and he was very angry, coming across as a lot more angry than in normal. And she pushed him too far, and that's why she ended up infected.
How you doing?
Then, with further conversations with Perry, she mentioned the same things, that he sounded different, had a very quick temper, and not really any of the niceties from the past.
Yeah, I heard a similar thing. Well, I mean, during my conversation, you know, he definitely seemed pretty pissed off that I had with him, so.
Yeah, so I wasn't really one that was like in on this supernatural stuff, but unfortunately, things I've been seeing kinda is having me lean into the credibility of them stories now, and I haven't sat down and had a full talk with Perry yet, but she's mentioned that part of his anger may be to do with the fact he no longer wants to be confined to Dr. Smith's body. He's had enough. So I got no idea what's going on there, whether for some reason he's trapped within that body or whether he simply isn't able to leave until whatever task he's conducting is done, and it's just taking too long. But if that is the case, then I can see his anger growing a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay. How did Dr. Legs get sick? How did that happen?
From what I know so far, he went to check on Krieger, and then when he stepped out, him and Perry were talking. Perry turned her back, and the next thing he had collapsed on the floor. So whether it was being in with Krieger or possibly it was a direct contamination by Dr. Smith because he was very bitter about what went on in that meeting, apparently. And Perry thinks it could be a punishment to the doctors.
Oh, shit.
Norman turned up at the hospital when it happened. I still got to get all the details, but he basically said he was there to collect if necessary.
Jesus.
And I know you know about all the feather stuff because you spoke to, was it, who was it we had? It was Oswaldo we had in interrogations, and you said there was no need to discuss that to him.
Mm-hmm.
Perry had a feather from that white raven, Hope, and questioned Norman about would it help, and Norman implied it could. So Perry used that feather on Jackie, and he seemed to stabilize. But it does seem Jackie is the target for Norman to take whatever he takes from people.
Interesting, alright. So Jackie's stable in hospital at the minute?
Last I knew he was stable. He was in ICU. He was unconscious the night it happened. I spoke to a couple of, well, I spoke to Perry and another doctor yesterday, tried to get an update, and any further news. So I'm assuming he's still stable. I'll get an update later today.
Alright. And then you had some concerns about the whole Aspen thing as well?
Yeah, the fact she obtained cures, apparently, I don't know the full details of it. I just know she apparently had 2 cures, and she gave at least one of them to Princess when there's many of officers still in the position of being sick, and she didn't even contemplate giving it to the doctors to look at, it seems. It's very counterintuitive to what someone should be doing in her position, especially when you couple it with the fact she pulled everyone off the investigation.
Yeah, has that been confirmed yet? I haven't spoken to Aspen, but that's what I had heard happened.
Yeah, that's what I've been told happened. I haven't spoke to Aspen either. The fact that Princess was very evasive, I think is probably the best word of it from what I've heard in regards to getting answers out as to where she got a cure from, isn't helping.
Yeah, Princess concerns me, I'll be honest. You know, she says that she's not going out of her way to kind of investigate or whatever, but then she also has all these theories and things like that on all the information she's getting, and then she got the cure, you know.
And she's always nearby when something happens.
Yeah, like that. Were you around last night for this Edgar situation at the house?
No, I've not been well the past couple of days. Things have been very brief. I came on duty to back up Eryn with Jackie, and then I popped on duty yesterday just to get a brief update and check Eryn's not doing anything stupid given her past relationship with Jackie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They used to date. They only recently broke up, so I was kind of worried she may be willing to push boundaries to help him out. And by that, I mean she may have been willing to go speak with either of the two people she should be speaking with,
Sure, yeah.
at least. Yeah. So what happened with Edgar?
There was some strange guy with a mask on the roof of the supermarket opposite. They photographed him, that kind of thing. For some reason, in one of the photos, Princess Elena's car's blown up in the road. Then there was also a car parked nearby that looked like the car that those 3 suspected faceless people turned up at Edgar's house opposite. Looks like a similar car, like a G-Wagon type thing.
Okay.
But then that guy on the roof, they went up there to go get him, and all that they found was like a crow flying overhead. So the guy kind of disappeared. And then there was a crow flying away. So I don't know whether that's... they just lost eyes of the guy, or whether it's something more.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
Yeah.
Jesus, he looks like something out of Mad Max.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I don't know what to think of it yet. I got some ideas, but I don't want to start spilling theories before I got something concrete.
Yeah, the fact Princess's vehicle was there is very intriguing.
Hmm.
I've actually kept out the Edgar case personally. I took a very much back seat in this investigation from the point of being told, nope, you can't even attempt to arrest Mr. Smith. And given that the things he'd done deserved arresting, I was getting frustrated that no one was willing to even go along that route.
Yeah.
Of course, the fact I didn't believe this supernatural stuff had a lot to do with that. I'm still intrigued what would happen if we attempted it, but at this point, I think people have pushed the limit too far already, and it probably is too much of a risk now.
Yeah, I mean, I got sick in a hazmat, and all I did was disagree with the guy that life isn't all about fucking suffering. So if we go and try and tell him to put his hands up and try and get him in handcuffs, I can only imagine the disaster that would be. It's difficult, man. I get it. I dealt with the same thing 8 years ago when this first kicked off, because we're so used to dealing with everything by the book. Someone's done something bad, we need to arrest them, and then you realize what you're dealing with, and it's unorthodox, and it's difficult I think it's difficult to adapt to. Because, our skills with investigating still come in handy, but the normal way we would wrap up cases they don't really work. So, yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's hard to know what he actually wants as well, but seems from what he says he wants us to advance the race. And that his virus is a way of doing it, but it appears to me like the goal, as in the storybooks I've been handed around, is that somehow by curing this virus, it's gonna make us stronger.
Yeah, I mean that's what he said himself. But that I think that book also mentioned that it wasn't about curing; it was about control.
Yeah, that it did.
So,
Well, it seems with Dr. Smith, he doesn't care about humans at all. And it seems he wants nothing more to do with us based on the latest conversations I've been told.
yeah, when I spoke to him, he said he was disappointed and thinking about, to him, he's got some twisted idea of the fact that he's the one that's been keeping us going this whole time by making us sick and causing us pain and suffering. And that's been keeping us away from Judgment Day, I guess. But now he's thinking that it's not worth it anymore. And he's thinking about changing his mind.
Either option doesn't sound like a good one at this point.
Yeah. But I've learned that the best thing to do when these things feel cosmic and otherworldly is you focus on the small bits, the stuff that we can control. And the stuff that we can control is looking into this Jason Todd, because she owns a hell of a lot of Cyprus properties, which is pretty interesting. And then is now calling herself the director. So we can look into her. We can look into Aspen and what she did, and you know the potential. It's a difficult situation, but you know, to put it bluntly, if possible corruption, if she's working with someone like Smith to basically say, I'll stop looking into you in return for, you know, something personal, which is the cures, you know?
Yeah.
Even though it's a very difficult and niche situation, so... And then Princess is a strange one.
It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you probably would see a lot of Jason, and I think maybe touch base. Was it Peters that came and spoken to you?
Yeah, Marshall Peters spoke to
I
me
think
along...
Peters, yeah. Sorry, with Judge who?
Judge Danielson.
Okay, yeah, he was there. Honestly, I'd recommend you and Peters kind of getting together and looking into her together, because she's... I don't see her. I don't really see Nino or anything either. So, I mean, I'll have a chat to Peters about it, and maybe you two just dig around and find out who she is a little bit, maybe question her about it, you know, that kind of thing. And then...
Yeah, I think a discussion needs to be had with Nino as well, but
100%.
I felt that was a bit above my pay grade, given that technically he's above my chief. It feels like people could see that as a conflict. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll have a chat to Peters about it, because obviously, you know, he knows a bit more. So I'll have a chat to him and see if we can get that on track, to have talks with Nino and Jason. And then I will do my best to talk to Aspen and try and figure out the situation a bit more. And then I'll also keep my eye on Princess as well, and see if I can, I guess, get more of an idea about what she's up to.
Yeah. Okay, just bear with me one moment, please.
All right. Ow! That's what I had to bear with. The hell, dog? Fucked up. You know that? I should hit you back, you know? I should do it. But I'm a good man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm the bigger man. The hell? What the fuck?
Are you littering?
Now there's worms. There's just a pile of worms in the bush. I'm returning them to the where they should be.
To the natural environment.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why'd you punch
sorry
me
about
for,
that.
man?
Oh, sorry. I must have been having a spasm because of the ringing in my head.
All right.
I didn't even realize I'd done it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I appreciate you kind of coming to me, Doc, with these concerns, and they definitely are pretty big concerns. So.
Yeah. Try and get to the bottom of some of this.
Man on the promenade. Oh, they sort of 50'd into a tree next to Bahama Mamas.
Bruce isn't here.
Bruce for your comms, right, westbound, Red Desert, right, passing the Blue Cage. Approaching Bay City, right, northbound, Bay City. Passing the Blue Cage again, crossing over Marathon. Northbound Bay City. Taking a right east.
Reach B2 hotline. Please leave a name and number and we'll get back to you.
One overhead, we're continuing
Beep.
Hello, Bruce. It's Doc. I've got an engine, and I don't really know what to do with it, but I want to put it in my CVPI. I came to the tuner shop, but there's nobody here, so can you come help? Thanks.
Beep.
We'll see if he comes.
What is down?
Hello.
Oh no.
Hi, Mr. Dark. I see that you left a message with B2 Customs answering machine. You said you need an engine placed.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right there. Give me like a minute.
No.
Cause you soon.
Replacement. That's fine.
Bye.
Oh well.
Bye bye. He doesn't know. Pepe laughed, but
Capital, continuing southbound Poplar. Approaching Innocent, slowing.
he doesn't know.
Left, northbound, Elysian Fields Freeway, incorrect travel.
See what I mean? That thing looks rough to turn. I'm not blaming them for going on the freeway. Maybe it's just a wet.
Elysian Fields. Merging Del Perro westbound. Probably slick tires and the wetness.
Maybe.
Passing that Ocean exit. Except North Rockford Rainbow Garage, westbound Del Perro. 22, they've taken La Porta.
You got it all nice on a pretty document for him too.
Taking lower.
I need to make sure that's the right link. Hold on.
Innocence. Slowing at Innocence, left eastbound Innocence. Taking a right back southbound onto La Porta Alpha. Incorrect lanes of travel, merging correct.
Yep, it is.
Taking Dutch London, eastbound. Running northbound off-road to Mutiny.
Brucey!
Approaching Alta.
Is he gonna get the engine thing?
Across the
One
grass
moment,
of
let me
Alta,
sign in real quick.
Station yard. Crossing Innocence. Approaching Adams Apple. Crossing Adams
What
Apple.
we're working with.
Continue northbound Alta.
Can I share something with you?
Crossing San Andreas,
Absolutely.
Arcadia.
What's your state ID?
Just full sending north and Alta speed to one side.
Don't tell me you got my subpoena from my phone.
Right right.
No. So no subpoena, Bruce.
9994.
Right.
However, it is a search warrant, Bruce, for your phone. I'm going to need you to hand that over. And I'm going to be searching it specifically for the number as listed in the warrant check.
You can't take my phone like that.
I
They got
can. I have a
names.
signed search warrant, so
Crossing Adams Apple.
I need you to hand your
Yeah.
phone over, Bruce.
22 crossing
Wait, for
over
right now?
Innocence.
Are you gonna
Right
take it
now,
from-
yes.
Oh, wait, but the question is, am I getting it back right now?
Yes, you'll get it back right now.
Okay. Say less. Review this
All I
document
am
real
looking
quick.
for, I'll be going through your phone only through your contacts and only grabbing the contact detail information for the number
Is this for the
612-3473. I shared it as a document, yes.
You know, little big horn. Go around.
Give me one moment. Let me read it real quick. Who's it signed by?
A judge.
Judge?
Lowenstein and correct lanes of travel.
Yep.
Sending it all the way through, going to be merging on
Which judge?
Dutch London. Disregard sending it straight through
Hello?
onto the track.
Justice Murray
Parallel with
Falconer.
Signal Street.
Oh, Falconer. Oh, okay. You know,
Merging on
he is a
Place to
weirdo.
Place.
Did you know he likes to suck on toes?
I think you're confusing him with Scotty Bard, Bruce.
Well, they're one and the same. You know, they're part of the toe sucking club.
Interesting.
Wait one moment. Let me read this.
Your north signal. Merging on Dutch London.
We'll just keep that one out of it this time. I think Matilda went down. Just gonna is what it is. It's all right. People to impound it though. That'd be really good.
North Roy Lowenstein. Slowing left west on Carson.
But you can read it afterwards, okay? I'm gonna need that phone. You've had enough time. Hand it
All
over.
right, hold on, I'm reading it. Okay, so personal contact name saved by Bruce Baylor on his phone number for 420-612-3473. Duration caught current. Suspicion of what crime?
Oh, they dropped stuff off
Conspiracy.
again. We'll clip that second box.
Felony obstruction of justice. Are
I
you
don't know why they
kidding
keep
me?
doing this. It's fucking stupid.
Hurry up, Bruce.
Okay, I'm reading this motherfucker, man. Hey,
So I don't want to have to
I wanna make
detain
sure
you
I'm not
and take
complying
that
to
off your
something else.
person.
I'll give it to you. I'm not gonna take. Just let me read, please.
Amateur hour.
No, Bruce, I need you to hand the phone
You
over.
hear that, Lucas?
The
Amateur
26.
hour.
Can't read the
Bruce.
document.
I'll put them
I can't read the document without the phone.
We're continuing
Yeah, you can read it
east on
afterwards,
Innocence,
mate. I need you to hand the phone over.
Can I get my
passing
phone
over the
back right now?
freeway.
Right now.
Okay. Not dark. I'll let you know
left,
something.
North El Rancho.
What's that?
You're gonna be entering Mirror Park. You know, when the
Wait,
number
hold on.
he said is spin to.
Better not look at any other text.
Nope.
Nothing to hide.
Okay, Bruce, just sit tight.
All right.
I'll be in the corner. Okay. It's documented. Where is him? Oh. I'm looking for 612-3473.
Just going upstairs.
Okay, Bruce. Three, 4, 7. I can't search numbers, can I? which is really annoying. Wait, I know what I can do. No, you can't. I know what I can do. I can do this easier. I'm gonna search the list with a notepad, but I'm not actually taking it out. I'm just searching the list. Okay, this is not working. Bear with me. Alright, found it. Okay. This is what he's got it saved as. Okay. It's saved as confused. Okay. I'll just do one little thing. Yep. Make sure I got the right number. 612-3573. Yep, that's correct. Delete that. Oh, so yeah, I'll check for any edits to the contact within past 10 minutes. Just in case. I got minstrels, Galaxy minstrels, they're really nice. Share? Nope. No, thank you. Have you seen it? You didn't see it? Bruce! Put it the hard way. So you didn't have the number saved, huh, Bruce? You can just tell me straight up, huh?
Did I? I don't know. If you look at that
Yeah,
phone,
man.
there's a lot of numbers in there, phone numbers. Wait, before you give it back to me,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Now look at 3.0 flat 3.0. Look at that one. You can open it up. I give you permission to open it up. Very first number.
3.0 L flat, that one?
Yep.
What's that?
What do you think that is?
3 liters flat. I don't know. Is that how quick you can, how much you can chug in like 20 seconds? How much Diet Pepsi?
Don't play dumb. All sorts of names and numbers that are just saved in there because I don't know who they are and it happens so quick. I just put shit in there. Well, phone numbers call me. I don't know them. I put all sorts of dang shit on the names. I don't know
Okay.
who they are, what they're doing, what they want. Everything I said in that interview or that interrogation.
All right, Bruce. Well,
let me get my phone back. Next time, and you know now, next time, do things the right way and not a dickhead way. I have no problem giving you my
the right
phone.
way was asking you, man.
Oh, no.
You're the dickhead for making me
no.
go through a bunch of fucking paperwork.
That bullshit paperwork at that. You know, according to
what?
Document that you served, that shit is full of a lot of fluff. You made a lot of assumptions and implications. Like, it's between me and my phone, which is a general statement that any information on my phone is between myself and my phone. So therefore, you twisted that to put into the search warrant to benefit you and your stance and your suspicion. So that's one thing. Let's talk about the next that I implied by saying, if you want to know, you would subpoena the phone. That's another thing. Any number on that phone, if you want to know, and that's legally binding, legal terms, if you want any information, I don't have to provide you. It's my right.
Right.
So therefore, you twisted those words again to get the search warrant approved. Now, if the judge, Falconer, would have reviewed the interview, he would have seen firsthand all the information that was shared in that discussion. And there was a lot more than just what you put here. So what you've done is cherry picked to fit your unique situation to get this shit approved. You know what? This is a thing that's been happening with the marshals. When I got raided the first time, that Daisy fucking Dukakis did the fucking same thing and added all sorts of shit, went back 6 months to get me charged currently. That's how bad the marshals are. Now, I'm very upset at this point because all you had to do is call me, right? With the search warrant, once it was approved, and I'll hand the phone over. But what did you do? You told me you wanted an engine replaced. Where's the engine at, Dark?
Got my ass.
Okay, so now you see what I'm saying? Listen, I will work with the marshals when I'm required to legally. I'm not going to work with the marshals on my free will without legally being told to do so with a signature from a judge.
Listen, Bruce, you ain't going to legally work with us because you're working with some pretty dangerous people. That's why.
I'm not working with anybody, brother. I haven't worked with whoever you want to call. What's the group?
Don't pretend like you don't know, Bruce. It's embarrassing.
No, what's the group? I ain't worked with any group. The only group I'll be working with is Cypress. I stand proud. And B2 Customs. I do mechanics stuff. That's all I do. You know this. I do it every day. You see my ads. You see what I do. I get arrested from time to time because I like to have some fun and get some adrenaline. But other than that, I don't work with no kind of terrorist groups or any kind of goddamn crazy shit that you were trying to tie me to.
Of course not, Bruce. Of course not.
So, again, let's go back to the issue at hand here that you provided a whole bunch of bullshit details in there to cherry pick to fit your narrative. And then had me come down to the tuna shop, the place of my business where I do a lot of work with a lot of customers and clients. What if this was filled, right? What if there was tons of people in here and you served me like this? Is that very professional?
I don't care.
That's exactly.
I'll serve you whether you're at your front door, whether you're in your underpants, whether you're in a business full of people.
You don't care. Maybe in your job you should do a little more professional work and ethics. Okay? And that's all I got to say to you.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for your time, mate. I'll be in touch. Well, we asked him about edits, but we didn't get a reply, so I guess we'll never know. Fluff doesn't matter. You don't have to tell me. I know. Outlaw is probably the second best British game ever made. I think it quite beats Thank Goodness You're Here. I haven't played that one either, dude.